Hi everyone, welcome back to Swiss Home Garden, Chitra here. In this video, I want to share with you the current scenario of Switzerland. We will be walking a little bit around Bahnhofstrasse in Zurich. We had a brief reprieve of the cold weather these past couple of days, so I went to the city centre after a period of more than 6 months. The last I went was in summer with my daughter to get her some clothes since she had outgrown them. Usually we visit this area about twice a year. Since December, these shops are practically shut and you have the only option of click and collect in some of the shops. Many of the shops are out of business. There was a short opening period between the summer months with a lot of restrictions, of course. This was unprofitable. Last March, I posted a video when Switzerland was experiencing an economic shutdown for the first time that lasted for a period of almost 2 months. A year on, we are in a similar wishy-washy situation created by our very own politicians and the media, and to a greater extent some of the sinister organizations which are actually fully in control. This is really the fact. I wish more people were awake to what was happening. I mentioned in my older video from last March about an economic reset that was happening, and that was just the beginning of it. A year on, the unemployment rate has skyrocketed. Many of the businesses are on the verge of bankruptcies. Especially tourism, hotels, restaurants have taken a very bad hit, including the airlines, which is operating only at 20% capacity. Nobody really knows the rate of unemployment because often many of the businesses are kind of subsidized to send their employees on furlough because it is not very lucrative to keep it open. The state is subsidizing some of the employers, so we don't really know the accurate picture of the rate of unemployment. It is hidden away from the public eye. Bankruptcies are skyrocketing and more people are driven to debt and poverty. This is a similar situation all over the world, especially in the first world countries. We had a brief opening for businesses and shops during the summer months and then back to lockdowns since December. The sad thing is that the people in our country are very divided and they are too muscled up to see what is really going on. It was initially meant to be only for a few weeks, but a year on, we are being socially engineered, economically engineered, and many ways most are unaware of this reset that is happening. This has been from the beginning an asset stripping operation from the middle class to the billionaire class. I think many of you could agree with this. There are a few people who are really profiting massively, who became trillionaires from billionaires. For those shops operating on this click and collect model, it doesn't make any sense to have such a high real estate and to wait on a couple of customers just dropping by for a couple of things. The real estate, as you may be knowing, is very high on this part of Zurich, and it is one of the most expensive in the world. Can you imagine a business which is operating, for example, like a restaurant at 25% capacity? That was what was allowed during the summer months. You cannot even cover any cost of the rent or the other overheads. Forget staying afloat and making an income and in the end even a profit. So these will all go bust very soon. This building over here is UBS and close by is also Credit Suisse. These are some of the top global banks. They, by the way, made a huge profit and now are so generously offering loans to these small dying businesses. You can fill up the gaps. These businesses are never going to come up. We are going to be in even more debt. These luxury goods can very soon be catering only to the trillionaires and the billionaires. Nobody is going to be buying these clothes if you can just lounge around in the house with your pajamas. It was never about this invisible bug which no one can see. Despite it, we are being managed in all aspects of our lives because of it. Humans have managed to survive so many such bugs and diseases, and those who are living today are actually the living proof of it. I don't know why people cannot see through this. Personally, I know a few of our friends who are really struggling in a very bad way and have a very hard time to make their ends meet and their businesses to be successful. They have been shut down for so many months on end. Even the fitness centers are closed. The proposed opening for the fitness centers and many of the businesses, with the exception of the restaurant, is by mid of March, and the restaurants are allowed to be open only on the outside from the 1st of April. But in the last 1 year, I do not believe anything that is coming out of the system over here, because they keep changing every day and every minute the new rules. It's just made up as they go along. In the last 1 year, I even lost count of how many times they had partial lockdowns and what were the measures. It has been so volatile the whole time, nobody can keep track of it. I completely lost track of everything around here. Practically, most of the small and medium-sized businesses are dead, and they cannot recover in the next few decades. I don't like to sound so negative, but this is all part of the plan and part of the big program that is being rolled out for us. Although Switzerland has a very good social welfare system, we have to face the facts that the middle class are the backbone of any society. If they have no income, the governments cannot collect any taxes. Almost all the Western European countries are socialist countries, and if the middle class is unable to sustain this unsustainable system, this can go in a very bad direction, and those who are dependent on this system will come to a rude awakening for going along with all the measures which we have been subjected to. The rich have a way to avoid the taxes, and those who are on the welfare system do not pay much of taxes. This will break the whole socio-economic structure in all of the Western countries. Instead of bashing me and piling me up with negative comments in this channel, I would suggest that you take a look at the World Economic Forum's Great Reset Program, UN's sustainability goals, and so many such websites which have mapped out our future and the future of our kids and grandkids, to get a picture of what is actually happening in this world and who is going to be profiting from it. On this note, I end my video. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.